Okay, so quick video regarding today. Today is December 21st, and today what's happening in the stars, it is the great Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. And what does that mean? Okay, so energetically wise, I want you to picture a great big ball, golden ball of all that you desire and you want, aka abundance and prosperity. And it is set upon this big black rocky mountain that looks like it's difficult, but this mountain energetically is your discipline and the structure and everything you need to get this big golden ball of abundance. And what is the conjunction part? The conjunction is this diamond encrusted staircase that magically appears on this big black mountain, freeing the way for you to take the path to this big, great, sparkly golden ball of abundance, right? The reason why, this conjunction is such a big deal, beside the fact that it hasn't happened in like 1 trillion years and it won't happen again, I think, for another 20 years. Just, in layman's terms, Saturn energy is your discipline. It's the energy that you need to achieve goals, right? And Jupiter energy is abundance, it's prosperity, it's the things that you want and desire. So for them to cross paths so closely, that means that the universe is basically giving you the keys to have everything you want. It's telling you, okay, right now the energy that's in the world, as above so below, is that if you do what you need to do, you're going to have exactly what you want, period. You understand what I'm saying? So, take advantage of that. If you do candle magic, light your candles. If you are a goal setter and you're a person who writes down your goals, sit down today and write down your goals and make sure you're writing out the steps. Now, you see all the memes online and people are saying, black people are getting their magical powers today and their superpowers. Here's the truth and the lie in that. Yes, black people, because of the melanin in our skin, when things like this occur in the stars, we are definitely the ones who get the DNA upgrades. However, there's a trick to it. It depends on your level of consciousness. If you are not conscious on a certain level of consciousness, if you're not at a certain frequency, then it kind of just goes over your head. You know what I'm saying? Just like if you're in class and you're not paying attention. You know what I'm saying? And as far as the superpowers go, like I said, it has to do a lot with your frequency and your consciousness. You know how when you watch superhero movies, right before the superhero gets their powers, usually something tragic happens, right? Something that pushes them to their limit, someone that causes them to dig deep inside and pull out their greatness. So there is no such thing as you're going to wake up today and get superpowers. You should have been working on it. That's about as good as it's going to get. Now, why is it like an extra special day? Because it's also the Winter Solstice. Now, what is the Winter Solstice? We know what the Winter Solstice is. So it's the first day of winter, and basically what it is the day where the sun, it's representative, it's symbolic of a death and rebirth cycle. So the sun gets to its lowest point, it's death, and then it rises again, and the days going forward start to get longer and the nights start to get shorter. And we see this concept played over and again in religions across the world. It's representative, it's symbolic of Heru or Horus, which we also know is Christ. It's the death and rebirth. The Christ, he died, and you know the story. So that is also today, and so it's energetically just a very, very, very special day. What can you be doing today? I mean, if you're not already if you're a person that's already conscious, who's vibrating at a certain frequency, like you probably, like myself, have been getting some headaches this past week. And I don't mean like throbbing headaches or like annoying tension headaches or, painful migraines, just kind of like a real little subtle headache, those DNA upgrades and those downloads are coming through. You probably are dreaming very vividly. And you should be paying attention to that. You may just have thoughts popping in your head and you don't know where they come from. You should be paying attention to that. If you are not at a certain level of frequency and consciousness, and you are not getting your superpowers today, that's okay. Become aware. Start doing your work. Either way, black people, your superpower is innate in your DNA. Okay, you don't have to wait for DNA upgrades or any downloads or any specific special day. The superpower is innate in your DNA because you possess melanin in your DNA. The superpowers are innate to you. It's a matter of activation because they have been intentionally deactivated. You have been intentionally forced to forget your superpowers, and so you need to activate your superpowers. And to activate your superpowers, you need to become aware. You need to lift your frequency, lift your conscious level. Consciousness is to be aware. Why the winter solstice is celebrated, whether it's Yule or Saturnalia, and even Christmas obviously is closely associated with the winter solstice because of that whole, death and rebirth cycle. And there are monuments all over the world that have been constructed just for the winter solstice, one being Stonehenge. And it's a pretty big deal. I mean, although certain religions like Christianity kind of cloak it in under the guise of something else, it still is what it is. It all lines up. I mean, if you think about it, 2020 was a 4 year, and the number 4 represents building foundations, right? So what do you think about when you think about building a foundation? If you're building if we talk in terms of foundations of a house, it's the base, right? And you usually got to tear something down if you want a new foundation, right? You can't lift the house up and put a new foundation, lift the house down. You got to tear the house down, pour a new foundation, make sure it's stable, make sure it passes all the the codes, blah 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 blah, right? So this year definitely has been that. Everybody's been broken down, tore down, and we're going into a 5 year, which is what? Change, and new things. You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense. It really makes sense if you pay attention. It makes sense. So talk your shit, but do your work.